Here's a fully rewritten and expanded version of your paragraph, with 50+ extra words added. Keeping the dramatic storytelling style. Reports recently surfaced claiming that Shaquille O'Neal and LeBron James were involved in a serious backstage altercation at Ball Arena, and the moment it hit the internet, the entire NBA world stopped scrolling. According to these rumors, the confrontation allegedly went down immediately after the Lakers' painful loss to the Denver Nuggets on March 5th, at a time when emotions inside that locker room were already at a boiling point. The story claims that Shaq tracked LeBron down in the tunnel, not to shake hands, not to offer words of comfort, but to let him have it. The situation allegedly escalated so quickly and so intensely that it required security personnel and multiple staff members to physically intervene before things got completely out of hand. Some accounts even suggested that it took up to 6 people to hold Shaq back. However, it is critically important to be clear. There is no verified evidence, no official statement, and no credible reporting that confirms any physical confrontation actually took place. These claims remain entirely unconfirmed and appear to be rooted in speculation, social media rumors, and dramatized storytelling rather than facts from reliable sources. What we do know for certain is that the game itself was a difficult and frustrating night for the Lakers. Despite the loss, LeBron James continued adding to his already legendary statistical legacy, breaking yet another all-time record in front of the crowd. But the team fell apart in the final minutes when it mattered most, and that collapse opened the door for exactly this kind of heated narrative to take over the conversation. In today's sports media landscape, that's all it takes. One tough loss, one emotional night, and suddenly the rumor mill is running at full speed. Big names like LeBron and Shaq will always attract outsized reactions, both online and in the press, especially during moments of controversy or poor performance. Fans, content creators, and commentators are quick to fill in the blanks with drama when the actual story feels incomplete. The bottom line is this: while the debate around LeBron's leadership, effort, and long-term value to the Lakers is very much alive and worth having, there is simply no solid, verified proof of any backstage physical altercation between him and Shaq. This story is a perfect reminder of just how fast unverified rumors can spiral into viral headlines in the modern sports world, and why it always pays to slow down and ask for the receipts before believing everything you read online.
But when LeBron doesn't play and Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic do, the Lakers are a better team.
Here's a fully rewritten and expanded version with 50+ extra words added, keeping that sharp, dramatic commentary style. Let's be honest about something that nobody wants to say out loud but everybody is thinking. Having a 41-year-old on your roster who spends half of every defensive possession either arguing with referees, hunting for foul calls, or simply conserving his energy for the next offensive play might actually be a serious problem, especially when your entire offensive identity is being rebuilt around a 27-year-old Luka Doncic who plays with the urgency and intensity of someone who actually wants to win right now. And for me personally, the moment I truly stopped expecting anything meaningful from LeBron James was when those warm-up clips started circulating online. There he was, a 41-year-old man with 4 championship rings and a legacy that should speak for itself, calling himself a goofy-ass kid on camera, while his teammates were huddled in the back, grinding film, studying plays, and trying to figure out how to survive one of the most brutal playoff races in the Western Conference. It wasn't funny. It wasn't relatable. It was embarrassing. There is simply zero serious sportsmanship left in this man's body. And at this point, he is treating the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most storied franchises in professional sports history, like his personal retirement home, a place where he can collect a massive paycheck, crack jokes for the cameras, and avoid accountability at every single turn. But here's where things get truly strange. The wildest part of this entire Denver blow-up is that none of this is even remotely new. This is not a shocking development. This is not an isolated incident. It is just another Tuesday in the never-ending LeBron James drama series. If you have been paying close attention over the last 23 years, you already know exactly how this script reads, because this is a career-long, deeply established pattern of strategic exits and perfectly timed disappearing acts whenever the pressure gets too intense or the roster around him starts looking like a sinking ship with no life jackets. Remember what Shaq allegedly said: that LeBron has a habit of bailing on his team the moment things get difficult? Well, the receipts are right there in the history books for anyone willing to look. Cast your mind back to March of 2021 and again in 2022. Every single time the Lakers were sliding dangerously toward the play-in tournament and the pressure was building to fever pitch, LeBron conveniently and almost magically developed recurring ankle problems. It was like his personal get-out-of-jail-free card. Perfectly played every single time. He gets to sit out, quietly avoid the losses piling up on his personal record, protect his stats, and then come strolling back, just in time for the playoffs, looking like some kind of returning hero who sacrificed his body for the team. And do not even get me started on March of 2023. This man supposedly went down with a right foot injury, again, at the most suspiciously convenient possible moment, right when the Lakers were struggling to stay relevant and meaningful in a stacked Western Conference. He stayed on the sidelines, collecting his checks and his cameras, until the team somehow managed to right the ship without him. At that point, like clockwork, the miraculous recovery began. It is almost like he sits quietly in the shadows, watching from a distance, waiting to see whether the team is actually going to be worth something before he decides to heal up and get back on the court. But if you truly want to witness a masterclass in dramatic performance, one that would make Hollywood producers jealous, go back and watch the footage from March of last year against the Celtics. Because what happened next took everything we thought we knew about LeBron James to a completely different level.
Ooh. Did he get him? I didn't see.
Here's a fully rewritten and expanded version with 50 plus extra words added, keeping that sharp, dramatic commentary style. And if you want the single most embarrassing moment in this entire saga, it was all caught on 4K cameras for the whole world to see. LeBron James, a man with 4 championship rings, a man who calls himself the greatest of all time, was literally rubbing his chin with his own hand to sell a foul call, acting as though he had just taken a full Mike Tyson uppercut straight to the jaw. The performance was so obvious, so transparent, and so poorly executed that even the referees standing right next to him were not buying a single second of it. Then, barely 2 seconds later, he switched the entire script, suddenly grabbing his groin and limping dramatically toward the locker room like a man who had just suffered a career-ending injury. The transition was so fast, it would have made a Hollywood stunt coordinator proud. And look, even the most loyal LeBron fans in the world can see what is happening here at this point. You can defend one suspicious injury. You can maybe stretch it and defend two. But when a player is suddenly developing mysterious, perfectly timed injuries during the same critical month of the season for nearly 5 consecutive years in a row, at what point do you stop calling it bad luck and start calling it exactly what it is? There is simply no logical or honest way to defend that pattern anymore. And deep down, even his biggest supporters know it. And this is not just coming from me sitting behind a microphone. NBA fans across Twitter and social media have been connecting the dots for months now, building detailed timelines, pulling up receipts, and exposing the pattern in a way that is impossible to ignore. But here's the thing. It is not just the physical theatrics that tell the story. It is the mental gymnastics that go along with it. The way the narrative always shifts.